Hello class! Today we are learning how to find the area of a rectangle. We are on page 261 in our arithmetic books. Most of you are going to say, hey, I already know how to find the area of a rectangle. We did learn how to find the area of a rectangle, of other shapes as well as we are reviewing for our achievement test. Today, just think of it as a review of how to find the area of a rectangle. But at the same time, we are learning something new, which are new measurements. We are learning new measurements today. But first off, we have to know how to find the area of a rectangle. So a rule is the area of a rectangle can be found by using the formula A equals length times width. A stands for area. Remember, for perimeter, we use P equals. For area, we're going to use A equals. So A equals length times width. An easier way to write that down is A equals L times W. Remember, whenever I told you as you're labeling your final answer, as you're finding the area of a shape, we don't label it as only feet. We don't label it as only inches. We label it as square inches or square feet. So those are some of the facts that we have to know. So the fact says inches times inches equals square inches. Feet times feet equals square feet. Yards times yards equals square yards. And we have meters times meters equals square meters. Remember, as we are finding the area of a shape, we are multiplying the same measurement. That means our final answer is always going to be labeled as square measurement. Square measurement. The measurement depends on what measurement they give you. They might give you inches, they might give you feet, they might give you yards, or they might give you meters. But your final answer is always going to be square measurement. So that's going to be our label as we are labeling the area of a shape. Now this is going to be the new part of our lesson, learning new measurements. Isn't that fun? Learning new measurements today. So let's go and learn new measurements today. Our first measurement is 144 square inches equals 1 square foot. Then we have 9 square feet equals 1 square yard. Later we have 43,560 square feet equals 1 acre. And our last one is 640 acres equals 1 square mile. You have to know those measurements by memory. You're going to see those measurements on a test. You're going to see those measurements on a quiz. And you're also going to see those measurements on today's classwork. So make sure you know those measurements by memory. But moving on to our lesson today, we're learning about the area of a rectangle. So let's see our first rectangle. I have a rectangle with a length of 9 inches and a width of 3 inches. First off, write down your formula. The formula to find the area of a rectangle is A equals length times width. An easier way to write it down is A equals L times W. I told you that the length of that rectangle is 9 and the width of that rectangle is 3. So I'm just going to write it down. A equals 9 times 3. My final answer is just going to be by multiplying those two numbers together. So 9 times 3 equals what, class? Perfect. 9 times 3 equals 27. So A equals 27. Remember, our final answer is square measurement, and our measurement is inches. So it's going to be 27 square inches. As you're finding the area of a shape, just remember your final label. Moving on to another example, I have 12 yards equals not 12. We have a rectangle with a length of 12 yards and a width of 11 yards. So first off, write down the formula of the area of a rectangle. So A equals length times width. We know that the length of that certain rectangle is 12. The width of the rectangle is 11. So we have two numbers, 12 times 11, class. Very good. So A equals 132 square yards. Again, you have to know the formula by memory. A equals L times W. At the same time, just remember your final label. Square measurement. Square measurement. That's going to be for today's lesson. So our class for today is going to be page 261. We are doing sections number 1, 2, and 3. Make sure you submit your work through Dojo Activity. Goodbye.